What's up, everyone? How y'all doing today? As y'all know, I'm Mark. If y'all don't know, well, now you know. This video, as I promised y'all in, I believe, one or two of my last videos, is going to be a review about the Glock 23 Gen 3. Mag's already out. Mag is right here. Absolutely love this thing. A pretty solid piece of work, if you ask me. Now, excuse me, something that y'all may not know is that this isn't your average Gen 3 Glock 23. It's not like it's anything special that Glock did themselves to this gun. However, when I first got this was pre-owned by someone. When I got this at the store, it was pre-owned. So, what they did to this is that they added extended slide release levers. So that way, you know, you can sit here, or slide takedown levers. You know, it's a little easier to take apart your gun. That's also pretty fucking cool. Sorry, I always like to dry fire because with Glocks, you know, if you notice, you pull it back, the trigger goes forward. Double check the chamber, it's clear. But if there's nothing in the chamber, press the trigger, stays back. It's just another way to tell that, you know, it's empty. But now another great thing that came with this one is that it excuse me, has an extended mag release button. This is not your average Gen 3 mag release button, not by any standard. It's not even your Gen 4 or Gen 5 mag release button. This is just a custom one. And if you ask, oh yes, well, does that have any effect on whether the gun works? Some may. I'm not 100% sure on that. However, this one doesn't. This thing runs like a champ. Have ran hundreds of rounds through it, no problem. Works perfectly. Excuse me. Now, y'all may be wondering, if y'all are new to guns, at least what I mean by Gen 3. So there are different generations of Glocks. Gen 3 has a little bit of wider, thicker grips, you know what I mean? And before y'all ask, yes, the chamber is empty. You can see by the trigger back. I wouldn't point a loaded gun anywhere near me. But the grips are a little wider. On top of that, you don't have any front serrations. Excuse me. And the mag release button, I wish I could show you because I don't have the normal one. But if you've watched Centerfire podcast or you watched any of Adam's videos, I'm pretty sure he has put, and shout out to Adam, by the way, go ahead and subscribe to his channel and the podcast channel. Then you would probably seen, you know, one of his Gen 3 Glocks that has the normal mag release buttons. But people are wondering, oh yeah, well, doesn't this gun tend to, you know, not last as long as, for example, the Glock 19? That's a iffy question. It's a yes and no question, right? And here's why. So, damn, I wish I had, you know, my friend's Glock 19 here. I wish I had Adam's Glock 19 with me. But if you've seen Centerfire podcast, you guys already know that the Glock 23 and the Glock 19 are basically the same fucking gun, just in a different caliber. The exact same size. Pretty much everything is the same, other than the caliber. Oh, and the feed lips on the magazines. Other than that, everything else is the same. It's a 40 and a 9mm frame and slide. All right, it's a higher pressure caliber and a lower, a frame and slide that's used to a lower pressure than what the caliber it's shooting is. So yes, it can wear it down quicker, but that's mainly because of the caliber and the size of gun it is. However, this is why I say it's a yes and no is kind of iffy. The chances of that happening in somebody's, or at least in the average gun owner's lifetime, is slim to none. You know, if that happens, then you must have gotten your gun very pre-owned, or maybe you're just you're really active, you're shooting a lot, you're going to the range a lot, you know what I mean? However, I don't see that being an issue with this gun in particular. Now, a quick little history about the 40 Smith & Wesson caliber, because that's what this gun shoots and is chambered in. It came out, I believe it was in the 80s. I don't remember exactly which year. In the 80s, the FBI was looking for something that was more powerful than 9mm. So they sat there and was like, okay, well, let's go to 10mm. That's a normal jump to conclusion, you know, 9mm, 10mm, whatever, right? Sure enough, they sat there and realized, well, 10 millimeter is too powerful for some agents to handle the recoil. It's too powerful to get shots back on target if you got knocked down. A few other things. So what did they do? They sat there, took the 10 millimeter casing, right? They kept the projectile in there. They took the casing though, and they essentially put, shortened it, and they put less powder in there so there's less pressure. That's how they came up with the 40 Smith & Wesson caliber. And that's what they used up until a good while ago, for a good while they used this caliber, and they stopped very recently and went back to 9 millimeter for some reason. So it kind of seemed like a waste of time, but oh well, we got a cool caliber out of it, you know what I mean? However, in 1990, as I said, the 40 Smith & Wesson caliber was made in the 80s. I can't remember exactly which year, so my apologies about that. However, in 1990, Glock answered the phone, A bunch of people were like, hey, you guys got Glocks in 9mm, 10mm, 45. What are we doing here? And they're like, okay, well, you know what? We got you. They released the Glock 22 and Glock 23. I love this thing. It's phenomenal. Sit there and hit it with the, nice. So, as I was saying, they released the Glock 22 and Glock 23 back in 1990. That's the full size and the compact right here. And this gun, the standard magazine at least, holds 13 rounds. All right. However, when you do buy the gun brand new, as I said, I bought this pre-owned. All right. It will come with 2 mags. Mine only came with 1 mag. That's not the biggest deal about it. I'm just gonna go buy another one. You know what I mean? However, this is a great firearm. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. If I could rate this thing on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a solid like 9.5, to be 100% honest, right? And that's a pretty solid, thought, considering the fact that it's only 13 rounds. That is probably my only issue with it though, is I do like more capacity. However, the caliber like 40, and before we get into this argument, yes, 40 has been shown to girl, calm down. Too loud. Sorry about that. As I said, she's just going to town on this toy. I'm trying to think of the exact word. It does do better than 9mm. 40 Smith & Wesson is definitely more powerful than 9mm, and 45 actually. It is more powerful than 9mm and 45. I had a perfect word that we said on the podcast. I just can't remember it for the life of me. Oh no, it was a joke. Sorry, it was a joke, y'all, because, finger gun, I was like, oh, I had a gun pointed at me, sorry. But I absolutely love this thing. A lot of people will say, hey, if you're new to guns, go ahead and get a Glock 19. I 100% agree. However, if you're only somewhat new to guns, you've shot guns before, and you want something higher than 9mm, is probably the best thing to go for. This Glock 23 right here will not fail you. All right, it will not. And that's one of the great things about Glock overall, is their reliability. We talked about that on the last podcast episode, I believe it was. It was a standard Glock. Go ahead and check it out. Great video. Now, one of the cool things about Glocks as well is that they are often interchangeable. For example, if I were to go ahead and buy a holster for this gun, right, I would also be able to fit my Glock, not mine, but a Glock 19, right, a Glock 17 in there as well. Not at the same time, obviously, but you know what I mean. These are all compatible. A Glock 19X, a Glock 45. I could fit, I'm trying to think if there's any more. No, I believe that's about it, yeah. But you got to think about it. 19X, 19, 17, 22, 23. That's 5 separate guns that can all fit in this one holster if it's open-end at least. You know what I mean? That's why I say that. If it's open-end, yes, you can 100% do that. But overall, and keep in mind, some people like Gen 4s a lot more because of the grip itself, all right? We're talking specifically about a Gen 3, all right? I don't mind the wide grip. It's not bad in any way, shape, or form. And before y'all ask, my arm was over here like this when I showed y'all. See what I mean? But as gives you enough room to grip it, The sights are standard on this. They're not the steel sights. They're, you know, your normal sights that you get on here, which I don't have an issue with. That's not a problem by any standard. Overall, I would say if you're gonna buy this gun, make sure that you do know that the 40 Smith & Wesson caliber is a bit more expensive than 9mm. All right, because 9mm is just more popular. That's how it is. Also know that if you're going to use this gun, for example, as a home defense gun, which wouldn't be an issue, you're going to need a light on it. A light will definitely make this gun much more effective. If you can see what you're shooting at, it's much more effective. I can almost guarantee it, guys. I don't think that's something that, you know, should be an argument here. However, excuse me, the same, just because it's a Glock, fairly easy to take down without an issue. I'll give you a little look into here. Got the recoil spring and guide rod right there, you know. Jeez. Got the barrel right here, side, frame, of course the magazine, the bullets in it. Yeah, you can definitely tell. It's kind of hard to see in there if you can. But you can definitely tell, besides obviously the mag release button itself, but you can tell it's been altered, it's been messed with a tiny bit. You know what I mean? That's not in a bad way, it's just that some people like changing out parts. It's just how it is, that's fine. Hell, I prefer that mag release button over the Gen 3 in my opinion. However, the Gen 3 isn't an issue. It just gives me more room with this mag release button than your average Gen 3 mag release would. While I'm sitting there putting this back together, you're watching this video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share. Go ahead and tell everyone about this. Tell your mama, tell your friends' mamas. You already know this. You already know this. I said this in the last video and the one before that. I say in every podcast episode, y'all know the deal. Alright, back to the gun though. That's your average Glock trigger, you know what I mean? You got a nice little trigger safety on there. I'm gonna pull it back so that way y'all can see. The great thing about trigger safeties is that unless something is completely around that trigger, nothing's gonna happen. See what I mean? However, double check the chamber like always. When you, got it, do it with my left hand. When you get your fingers there, all the way in there, all the way inside, that's what'll happen. Now, a lot of people sit there and they hear Glocks and they're like, oh yeah, Glocks don't have safeties. Not true. They actually have 3. They're built into them, is what it is. They have a drop safety, firing pin safety, and a trigger safety. All right, the drop safety is that way if you have a round chambered and you drop it, it's not just gonna shoot. It's a huge deal. It's not the P320. Y'all gotta understand that. That's a big, big, big deal to just drop your gun and they go off, all right? And we will keep shitting on that gun. I already know I'm going to. Adam already told me he's going to, so it's going to keep happening. Now, another great thing about the trigger safety is that we've seen situations where people's clothes have gotten caught up in their holsters, you know, and guns have gone off. It's happened with Glock. It's happened with a lot of other, you know, gun manufacturers. It's not just something that happens with Glock exclusively. Go ahead and wipe this down because I just cleaned her yesterday. Because I was going to do this video yesterday, actually, y'all. But I got dead busy. Super busy. So, now my main question for you guys in this video. This Glock 23, Gen 3. All right, 13 rounds of 40. All right. Would you use this for home defense? Would you use this for concealed carry? Would you use it for both? My personal recommendation is that both wouldn't be an issue. Both wouldn't be an issue by any standard. However, what I can tell you, all right, is that if you want to use it for home defense, in my personal opinion, the capacity, it'll work most likely. Yes, it'll work. Me, I'm a rather safe than sorry guy. I'd rather be safe, you know, and have more rounds than I need than sorry and have less rounds than I need. You know what I mean? So I would at least sit there and maybe buy a Glock 22 mag. Excuse me, or hell, even get a, at the bare minimum, get a 9mm +2 base plate extender. Extended base plate, and that would be +1 for 40. So that's something that could at least help. You know what I mean? 14 plus 1 in the chamber, that's 15. That's the same capacity as the 22 without the 1 in the chamber. You know what I mean? That will definitely be good for home defense, in my personal opinion. If not, you can even sit there and get the Glock 22 mag in there. That's 15 rounds plus 1 in the chamber at 16. You can get the stick mag. That's the great thing about Glocks, is that they are so interchangeable, compatible with each other, is that you have multiple mags you can get just for your one gun. You know what I mean? This overall, in my opinion, I won't say the best Glock by any standard, because my favorite Glock that I've shot so far has been the 19X. However, I want to shoot the Glock 45, see what happens, you know, how I feel about that, even though they're damn well near identical. They're different in a couple of minor ways, you know what I mean? However, though, this gun is definitely up there. I will openly say that this gun is definitely up there as one of my favorites. Even though the 40 is a higher pressure round, it's a little more snappy. It's pretty smooth to shoot, in my opinion at least. You know what I mean? I don't have issues with the recoil on it. I've even sat there, shot it one-handed. I've gone to the range, done drills, acting like, you know, my left hand is injured. So I'm like, pow, 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 pow. You know? And I have zero issue with this gun. I've never had any malfunctions, minor, catastrophic, anything. Nothing at all. I highly recommend you guys get this gun if you're looking for a 40 caliber Glock. This would definitely be it. You don't have a lot to choose from, but in my opinion, this would be it. Alright, so if y'all have any questions or any even thoughts on what you guys think I should do for the next video, go ahead and comment them down below. Let me know. You know what I mean? I'm more than happy to listen. I'm a reasonable guy, as I'm sure y'all could have gotten by now. Other than that, I hope, as I said before, y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit the share button. When you hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit the bell while you're at it. Get notifications when I upload. Why the hell not? Am I right? Other than that, y'all stay safe. Y'all have a good day. Peace.